Shalom Aleichem again to all our listeners over here at Koilor Yerushalayim. We're holding over here a few minutes of Chizuk on the weekly Parsha, Parshas Tzav. So, it's very interesting to note in the Parsha that deals with many of the Korbanos, one of the things we see that if a person goes through a certain tragedy or something which he had a tremendous amount of nisim that occurred with him, so we see that there's a korban toida that he has to bring. He goes and brings a thanksgiving offering for the tremendous chesed that was done for him. So, in regards to Hakaras Hatov, it's something which is so important to point out. One thing is for sure, and that is that we know just from the famous Abu Drum that brings down in our daily Shmon Esrei, we have in Chazor Sashatz, in the repetition of the Shmon Esrei, we see over there that when it comes to Moedim, all of a sudden, that's the one bracha that the Shliach Tzibur also says out loud. And he explains, the question is why. All the other brachas he can go and be moitzios, he can go and say it for us. And we just have to answer after him, amen. But over here, we say it and he says it. And he says over there beautifully, the Abu Dram says, unbelievable that when it comes to a person giving Hakaras Hatov to Hashem, to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the unbelievable nisim that were done for him, so nobody else can go and say thank you for you. You have to come and give that Hakaras Hatov to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why we say Moedim, the Rabbanan, we say it. And that's why the Shliach Tzibur also says it, and he can't be moitzi us. A tremendous thing in Hakaras Hatov, how important it is that we have to go and accustom ourselves to realize what exactly is this Hakaras Hatov. We see from this korban toiv, that giving this thanksgiving offering is something which is unique. Whereas a person has to remember that when it comes to repaying back a toiva, repaying back something which someone did to you, we see that the famous mashkiach, Rav Moshe Aaron Stern, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, was the mashkiach in Kamenetz, used to say, we don't call it Hashlamos Hatov, we don't call it repaying back the good, we call it Hakaras Hatov, because Hakaras Hatov is something which has no boundary, it has no end to it. It's not like you're being mashlim something, you're finishing up, you're paying back a debt. It's only something which is continuing and continuing and continuing. A person has to constantly show HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and anybody in this world that did for him good things, especially that he should always show them a sign of Hakaras Hatov. There are many, many ways that we can do this, many ways that we can do it every day. We get faced with so many things that we see. We see people along the way, we see people who do service for us, whatever the case may be, whether it's a Jewish person, a non-Jewish person, the Kiddush Hashem is involved also, how important it is for a person to say a good word, a good smile, a good thank you for every single little thing that was done. Just want to end with a famous story that was said over from the great mashkiach of Eliola Pian. Zecher Tzadik Livracha was the mashkiach in Kfar Hasidim and Rechasim here in Eretz Yisrael, and he was famously known, and there was a picture even of it, of showing him giving some food to a cat. And they asked him, what's going on over here? Why are you feeding the cat? Why isn't the Rosh Hashiva, the mashkiach's job, to go and feed a cat? So he said, you know that the food in the kitchen that we have over here for the boys in the yeshiva, it's needed for the boys in the yeshiva to eat. However, there's a tremendous amount of mice around, and the mice come and they go and hop around all the food, and we end up a lot of times with no food or half-eaten food. But comes the cat and he goes and saves us. Why? Because he makes sure that the mice don't come in. So he said over there that I see that the cat, look what he did for us. He did us a service. We have to be makar toy, but we have to make sure to feed him. If there's no mice that the cat will eat, so at least he has to eat our food. And therefore the mashkiach himself wants to be makar toy to the cat, and he gave the cat food in order so that he can show his Hakaras Hatov even to a cat. We should continue to have siyata d'shmaya, like we always say. We should ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for bracha, that we should have this hakara. We should be able to recognize this wonderful midah of always being makar toiv to people, and of course the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, korban toiv, the thanksgiving offering, we should always have on the top of our lips. Siyata d'shmaya. Everyone should have a great Shabbos. Thank you all for listening.